What's going on, guys? My name is the Demon. Today, I'm going to be doing the top 10 characters not in One Piece Bounty Rush from the arc of Skypiea and the Skypiea Saga. So we're also including Jaya in this. And with me today, I have the OPBR chef. And yeah, guys, he's a pretty new channel. And guys, show him some support. He has amazing thumbnails, very entertaining videos. Yo, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you bringing me here. Like he said, I am a fairly new channel. Very strange commentary, but I don't know. Maybe some of you guys would like it. But yeah, if you don't mind checking me out, I've got a bunch of videos. I do upload 4 times a week, pretty much every other day, and yeah.
And guys, he has a lot of 6-star character gameplays, a lot of different content. I think recently you just made one about Kaido. He also has one where he did like top 8 characters he wants to see in One Piece Bounty Rush, and in it there's a character from Skypiea. So I was like, yo, this is gonna be perfect. I was looking for someone to make the Skypiea arc with, and yeah. So now we're here, and at number 10 we have Ohm. Now Ohm, he's one of the people that worked under NL, and you can choose anyone you like, really. I think me and Chef, we both agree that he's like the most serious one. The others felt like memes. I know other YouTubers, maybe perhaps like, like Satori and the weirder characters, but Ohm, definitely the one I would say is the one worthy of a thing. So what do you think we can have about Ohm in this game?
So like you said, he did have like probably the best showing out of all the priests, and he wasn't as memey. Like there was a little bit. He did have some weird moments, but he pretty much took Chopper out in like one shot, I believe. And he was dealing with Zoro pretty well for the first little bit of the fight. He does have some nice skills. He uses that cloud dial, I believe it was.
Yeah.
It makes us, yeah. So a sword is kind of like a cloud dial that turns into iron almost, and it can extend, and he can manipulate it in different ways. So I think he would have like a nice like shield ability. So maybe because I remember when Zoro went to attack him, he popped up his cloud. I believe the attack was called Eisen Back. But I think he would be like a pretty solid, like a defensive ability, similar to Bartolomeo's like screen.
Yeah, maybe. And the thing is, we have to remember that he's the one who brought Zoro to start using kind of long-range attacks, which, of course, if you've been playing Bounty Rush for a long time, that's why Sky Zoro uses long-range attacks. And, of course, if you've been playing for that long, you also know that we all hate Sky Zoro. But so you can blame him. You can blame Ohm for that. But but definitely he put up somewhat of a fight until Zoro kind of learned to use long range. But he can do a lot of interesting things. At the very least, if the game wants him to be very basic, they can give him like the sword that swings kind of thing, and maybe like the cage that kind of trap Chopper, that hit Chopper, and something like that. So that's that for number 10. Let's talk about number 9. All right, guys. So at number 9. We have the Saruyama Alliance with Mont Blanc Cricket, and the 2 monkeys, Mashira and Shoujo, I think his name is.
Yeah.
But this was the first pick of Chef. And Chef, why do you want to see these guys?
I thought they were a pretty important part of it, like the story building in the show, and they were like pretty interesting characters. Especially like the 2 the monkeys, because I think the Straw Hats actually encounter them on their way to Jaya, or at least one of them.
It was Masio,
yeah. And when the monkeys aren't busy flinging shit at each other, they actually were doing pretty good job fighting against Bellamy's crew. So I feel like Cricket would be the main character, and then maybe one of his skills, he could like summon like the 2 monkeys as like a defense. They would kind of like just hold down the flag like Holiday Robin, for example. And maybe they would have like a knockback ability if you touch them. Something like that.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. So you want like a a Cricket character that uses a skill that will summon the 2 monkeys. and they could like stay on the point and maybe defend it kind of like instead of you. That could be very interesting. Plus, let's not like try to hide the fact that they played an instrumental role in getting the Straw Hats to the Sky Island. Without them, it wouldn't have happened, and the whole arc wouldn't have happened. So yeah, they're very important characters, and they were also entertaining as well. So yeah, what do you think about them in the show?
They were funny. There was they were just quirky characters that just kind of added to the the whole drama of getting to the Sky Island and the whole background theme of following your dreams, because Skypiea was all about that much.
Yeah, and it was very satisfying when Luffy finally rang that bell, and Cricket finally kind of like finally understood the truth that he actually didn't care about. He only cared about just to see whether or not it was true. He wasn't trying to prove that Nolan was actually not a liar. He just wanted to know whether or not he was a liar. So very, very fitting and deserving end, and I'm super happy that it was Cricket because he was a cool guy. He was a cool guy. So that's that for number 9. Let's get into number 8. All right, guys. At number 8, we have Lucky or Rocky, depending on which translation you want to read. She was kind of the waifu of the arc. She didn't do much in terms of fighting, but she did, however, try to, I think her name was Aiza, the little girl. She made sure, she was a very motherly figure to that girl, and she was part of the main force of the Shandrian fighters. So, I mean, she was at least stronger than the fodder unit, but it's mainly here for the waifu reasons. She was also pretty badass. She did get one shot by Enel, but she didn't try to run away. She understood she was getting one shot, and she just looked back and basically with a kind of like super sad moment when she looked back at Wiper for help there. But she didn't try to run away. She didn't. Yeah, I mean, she was definitely scared. Don't get me wrong, but she wasn't like a Nami sort of character that would run away. I love Nami. Don't get me wrong, by the way, but I'm just saying that she was like pretty brave. For doing what she did. She went back to warn Wiper as well, because I think Kamashiki, I think his name is something like that, he got defeated, warned her to warn Wiper not to fight Enel because he's too broken. I mean, cool character. She could use a gun, something like that. A 3-star, nothing too interesting on her. But what do you think we can have with Lucky?
Like you said, she didn't really have like much of a showing in terms of combat, but I actually just thought of something. Like, what about, because when she did get pretty much offed by NL.
Yeah.
Like, she's not actually dead, but people, they all witnessed it. How about when she dies, she buffs the team, or maybe your team boost increases or something?
Yo, okay, that's definitely an interesting trait. Corazon has that. Chopper has that. She could have that. Very cool. That's a very interesting idea. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Maybe like an attack buff or something, or speed buff or something. Because I remember Wiper looked pretty pissed, and he was yeah.
So I mean, attack buff definitely. Speed buff really will just make her not worth using. But if she dies and the whole team gets an attack buff, yo, I'm gonna use her because I'm pretty useless in most games. So at least that way I make my team carry me better. So that's a good idea.
Buff, man.
So that's a great idea. So I definitely really like that, and pretty impressive that you even came up with an idea for her. So good job. But yeah, that's that for Lucky, and let's get into number 7. All right, guys. So at number 7, we have a big boy, Kalgara himself. Now, the backstory with Kalgara and Nolan, man, we'll get a bit into it because that was one of my favorite moments in all of One Piece. First of all, I need to say this. In One Piece, it's always pretty much been pirates, marines, or world government. But, we don't see adventurers, just people traveling the world. We don't see them that often. So Nolan was exactly that. I think he was like a biologist, like a botanist or whatever. I don't know what they call it, plant person. And so he kind of like Heracles soon, and he just traveled the world, came across Jaya. The whole backstory happened, and man, he saved the island. And then they couldn't reunite again, and that was super sad. Whole arc, guys, if you don't watch it or if you don't remember, go back and watch it. It was so good. I recently watched it. It was amazing. So what do you think Kalgara could have in the game after you tell me some of your thoughts about them in the anime?
Oh, well, in the anime, I shed a few tears. When the whole when Nolan found out he couldn't, or that Jaya was split in half by the updraft, or the what was it called again?
The
The
knockup stream.
knockup stream, right? Yeah, that was a little bit heartbreaking, and
Yeah.
then to find out that you know Calgara had to pretty much defend his honor on like a foreign land, pretty much against
Yeah.
all these like people who thought
Skypiea
that they were
players.
of like a higher status, I
Yeah.
guess. Man, it was definitely hard to
Yeah.
watch, but one of the most amazing flashbacks
For
and
sure.
stories in One Piece.
For sure. For sure. 100%.
But
But
I think the character itself, he could have some sort of an ability similar to Smoker, where he sends out Tashigi, but instead of Tashigi, it would be like Shandians. Maybe like two or
okay.
three of them can come out,
Okay.
and perhaps like one of his second abilities, he can summon the god of Skypiea, which is the big snake.
Yeah.
Maybe it would come out and just kind of like in a straight line and knock a bunch of people back.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love the snake idea because I love the snake, right? Seeing him as a small snake, being friends with Nolan, he always had that smile. But then when everything went to like basically went to shit, he was in the sky pretty much alone. And then when things worked out after Luffy kind of saved the day, or the Straw Hat saved the day, with the help of course Skypeans and Shandians, but the snake, seeing him party with the Shandians and Skypeans again, and he was just so happy because obviously he spent hundreds of years. I think Nolan's story was like 400 years ago, way before even Roger went to sea, so way before Brooke. So that
Mm-hmm.
snake was alone for a long time, so he deserved that happiness, and I would love to see him in a skill for sure. I think for Calgara though, I'd love to see one ability maybe with the snake or Shandians, but another one where just like regular combat skills, because he was definitely physically strong as well, um,
Oh
with
yeah,
a lot of
he
different
was able to
weapons.
kill one of the.
The
Sorry, he was
snakes,
able to
yeah,
kill one of the gods with one
yeah,
stroke of his spear.
yeah.
So.
Definitely worthy character, and I mean I hope they release him as a 4 star. If they do, at least a step up. But I mean they've released Garp and Rebecca as 3 stars, so maybe he will come out as a 3 star. But I definitely need to see him, and I think in OPTC One Piece Treasure Cruise they just released a Mont Blanc Noland with Calgara dual unit. So that could be interesting. Maybe in One Piece Bounty Rush we'll see them soon. Hopefully, we never know. But that's that for number 7. Let's get into number 6. All right, guys. At number 6, we have Tsuru. Now, Tsuru, not everyone's favorite waifu, but definitely deserving of the waifu status. I mean, she is a total badass, 100% a total badass. First of all, Dofi doesn't respect many people. But he respects Tsuru. In the introduction of Dofi, he respected Tsuru. When Tsuru tells him to stop, he stops. They clearly had the relationship in the past. Maybe not like a dating relationship, but like they clearly maybe fought in the past. They clearly have some story because he respects her a lot, and she deserves that respect. She's pretty badass. So in the game, it would be very interesting to see what the game could do with her wash fruit. I think it is the wash fruit. But maybe it would be something like a paralysis status, like kind of like the bind with Hina, something like that. Maybe she could have one where she brings out her crew members to attack for her. I'm not sure, but Chef, what do you have to say about this?
Well, first of all, I think she's pretty hot. So she's definitely deserving of waifu status.
All right.
But no, she would probably have like one of those debuff skills. I apologize.
Okay.
She would definitely have one of those like debuff or stun skills. Like maybe they would be stuck like
Yeah.
on like a drying rack or something for like
Yeah.
3 seconds, or maybe somehow it would like take them, like even if they were in the flag and you use that ability, it would somehow kind of like take them off the flag in a way, like so it
Oh,
had,
okay.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's something we don't
So
have
like
in
if they
One
were,
Piece, so that's cool.
so if they're in that status debuff, it would kind of take them off the map, like just I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I get it. So like they're just like if they're filling up the treasure will stop filling. If you try to capture
Exactly.
it, even if they're on the flag and you try to capture it, you can't capture it. And if they're capturing
Exactly.
it, you
Yeah.
stop them from capturing. That's very interesting. I like that. I like that. And True, she definitely deserves her own mechanic. She has a very interesting devil fruit. She's a badass. She's a vice admiral. I mean, she deserves something cool, right? Garp kind of got the short end of the stick for sure. So maybe Tsuru can get some justice for Garp. We know they're friends and things. So yeah, that's that for Tsuru, and let's get into number 5. All right, guys. So at number 5, we have Mont Blanc Nolan. Now, this guy's a legend, a man amongst men, someone who, in history of the One Piece world, most people till today, by the way, think that he's just a liar. But he's a legend. We know he's a legend. Not everyone does. However, we haven't seen him do a lot of things besides the sword, and we know he's super ripped, super strong. But we don't know what skills he could
Super
do.
hung.
so, so what would you say for skills? What do you have in mind?
So I think he would have like a slash similar to Rayleigh, like that really quick one that comes out, because he did slice the god, pretty much kill that. But I think he would also have a nice like healing ability where he can actually heal and remove status buffs and debuffs, like as well as healing your HP like to a certain percent.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot because, like, obviously in the anime he kind of saved the whole village, but also he rescued the daughter of Kalgara in a very touching moment when it was revealed that she was the daughter of Kalgara, of course. But he did save her, so he was like a rescuer. So it would be cool to see a trait like that. Basically, like maybe allows him to teleport to a team and to a teammate, maybe a skill that's kind of like really, if you teleport to a teammate within a certain range, you get like 20% or 50% attack buff, and you can attack your enemies. Maybe no stun effect, you just get an attack buff, so it will help you save your teammate, kind of thing. And the healing skill fits perfectly because he did save the disease and he did cut down all those trees. Obviously, a misunderstanding in the anime, of course, but he did cut down the trees, which didn't allow him to.
What an asshole! Basically, just disrespecting like centuries of tradition.
Yeah, but it was. Hey, man, listen. At the end of the day, Kalgara realized the truth thanks to his daughter, of course. And shouted, went out to sea and shouted to Nolan, saying, "Yo, you're welcome back." And Nolan was super happy, started crying, and he's like, "I'll come back." And and then Kalgara promised to always ring the bell so that he would never get lost if he ever came back. Dude, this show is so good. But guys, make sure to watch that arc. Just watch that arc. Just the flashback. If you don't want to watch all of Skypiea, it's really good. It's really good. So I think that's that for number 5. And let's talk about number 4.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So at number 4, we have Burgess. Now, when he was introduced, it was in Jaya. So I know a lot of people don't think of Skypiea with like align Burgess to Skypiea, but he was introduced in Jaya. So you could choose. I'd love to see him or any of the Blackbeard crew from Jaya or post timeskip. So like we see him in Dressrosa. So it's up to you guys which version you want to see. But honestly, man, Burgess, we don't see much of him. He kind of just super loud, super buff, super attacking kind of guy. Definitely whatever role will fit him, not a runner, but definitely an attacker or a defender. He's super tanky, super buff. He's just kind of someone that hits a lot. So maybe he can be like the 4-star equivalent of what we have for Garp, he feels like just someone who hits things. He could have like an attack, a punch skill. Maybe both his skills would be punches. Maybe something similar to Bullet, something along those lines. But I mean, that's that about Burgess. I'm just choosing him because we see him in Dressrosa. The rest we don't see anything about them, kind of. So yeah, obviously Blackbeard's already in the game, but it would be cool to see a Jaya Blackbeard. You had a cool idea, Chef had a cool idea about old Blackbeard can kind of give a buff to people because he gave that speech. So he could kind of have a skill where he gives that speech and buffs up the team. That'd be fantastic. But let's talk about Burgess here. What do you think about Burgess as a character, and what do you think about what he would have in the game?
So I think he's a pretty cool character in the story. Like, there's not really much we know about him other than that he's just one of those kind of jock
Yeah.
like brawlers. He just wants to fight everybody.
Yeah.
He's like in Jaya, he just seemed like a homeless version of Bullet. Like, so like I think maybe his skills would be something similar to Bullet, but
Yeah.
just to like maybe not with the tremor effect,
Yeah.
with that like ground slam attack, but
Yeah.
definitely that lunging punch. But yeah, there wasn't really much to really
Yeah.
show for him.
Yeah. But he's still
But
Burgess.
definitely an interesting character.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that about Burgess. I mean, we don't have much to say at that point. So that's that for Burgess. Let's get into number 3. Still a cool character though. So guys, at number 3 we have Gunfall, bird that interestingly ate a devil fruit that made him a horse. So he's like a bird and a horse, or a bird and a unicorn. So it's like very weird, but it's also very interesting. I remember that we saw the silhouette of the horse and we thought something magical, but then it turns out it was just that it was like some donkey looking thing. So definitely Gunfall, very interesting. Could use some flying ability, something like that. So what do you have to say about Gunfall as a character and in
I
TV
think
games?
so. Yeah, I think in the show he was actually a pretty cool character. He was actually like the first. He actually saved the Straw Hats from
Yeah.
fighting Viper and destroying their ship completely.
Yeah.
Basically, when they landed on Skypiea. So it kind of just set the stage to show you that he's like a pretty good guy and he might come back in the future.
Yeah.
As a friend or a foe, we didn't really know, right? It was very mysterious, but they did give him that cool little whistle
Yeah.
that they were all begging Chopper not to use unless they really had to. But yeah, like you said, I think he could use like a flight ability similar to like Marco, but maybe not lock in, because Marco homes onto your allies. Maybe it would just be like a straightforward flight ability. Maybe with even like a knockback. Like he has his spear and kind of jousts, so you can like fly across and knock back people off flags.
Okay.
And he also did use a lot of dial attacks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they can incorporate some dial ability.
Yeah, for sure. The thing with this guy is that he was the real god of Skypiea, not Enel. So the fact that he kind of lived far away in a homeless, like kind of far from the land by himself, but everyone knew he was the real god, definitely was interesting. And we got to see a lot of the religious thoughts of the One Piece characters, like Zoro never believed in things. So it was a cool exploration of these characters for sure. Now, this guy, definitely a badass, definitely a cool character in the show. That being said, compared to all these new characters we have, again, like all these characters in this list, it's not that cool. They probably won't have an interesting kit in Bounty Rush unless the game really tries to make them unique and things like that. But that's that for Gunfall. Definitely a very instrumental, cool character from the Skypiea arc. One of the main focuses of Skypiea as well. So very nice. Hopefully it gets a spot in the game. And let's get into number 2. At number 2, we have Braham, I think his name is. He fought Zoro. Very, very badass character. Sliding around, dual wielding. He does like this cool thing when he's like, I don't know, what do you do it? But like you swap, you turn your revolver around your fingers. Super badass, super cool character. He was definitely the calm, collected mind. Of course, if you want the fatter guy or the super skinny Kumasaki or whatever his name was, Kamashiki, something like that. They were both also cool, but this guy was my favorite by far, and that's why he's here on this list. So in the One Piece Bounty Rush, I'd love to see a skill maybe where he could traverse terrains that are not normally traversable, and another one where he just spams you with guns and then does some cool rotation and then spams again. I don't know, something cool, maybe like an Apu, like a two-parter. Like he shoots the guns, flips back, does a roll, and then shoots again. Something cool like that, but not too slow as well, or else he'll be unplayable. So that's that for Braham. Do you have any thoughts on this guy?
No, I think that's about it. Like maybe like a runner with guns, kind of, like similar. Maybe he'd have like a speed boost ability because he was pretty quick on those whatever they were, like sky ice skates.
Sky ice skates, yeah.
And but yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it. That one.
For sure. I love this guy. He was super badass to me, and that's why I can't forget him. That's why he's on this list. I'm sure maybe a lot of you guys just forgot about him, but I love this design. This is the list. I'm part of this list-making duo here, so I'm going to have the character I want most on here, and let's see number 1. All right, guys, so at number 1, we have a pick from Chef, And guys, make sure to check out. I'll leave in the description, in the comments, his top 8 characters he wants to see. Of course, Wiper is going to be on that list, but he has 7 other characters with amazing presentation, amazing ideas, and also but he put in a lot of effort into that one. Very good, especially compared to my video. So make sure to check him out, guys. If you can get him to let's try to get him to 100 subs. If you can get him to more than that, that would be fantastic, guys. But let's see what you have to say about Wiper.
So definitely the coolest character in Skypiea by far, in my opinion, at least. He was like the pretty much the leader of the warrior tribe of the Shandians.
Yeah.
He relied heavily on like a lot of the dial technology, which I think would be an amazing asset in this game. He did have this big bazooka called I think it was the blast bazooka or something. I think that would be a really awesome attack to have, like similar to Frankie's laser beam in the time skip Frankie. And then maybe for a second ability, he could use the reject dial, which does like massive damage, maybe ignores defense. But you would also suffer like an HP hit from that because it does, injure the character.
And I know you mentioned this, but when we were talking before, but it would be very interesting to see him because he has this like sea prism stone on his like feet, which stopped NL. So he was pretty smart as well. So it would be very interesting to see something like Blackbeard where he has like double damage or something like that, like increased damage against Devil Fruit users by like 50%, or something that would prevent Devil Fruit users from dodging, something similar to that. That's good against Devil Fruit users. It would be very cool to have on this guy. Now I know you said he's the coolest character in the arc. I definitely agree somewhat. He was definitely cool, but he was also very angry a lot of the time, which kind of got annoying at some point. But he was definitely a badass. So what else do you have to say about him, whether in the show or in the game? Up to you.
For Wiper, I don't know. Other than that, I mean, he's like, again, he would be a character that I would like to see as like a 4-star, probably as a step up. To be honest, like I don't know if he would be hype enough for people to really pull on him as a bounty fest, but I think he would, like with that dial technology, doing extra damage to Devil Fruit users, similar to Jinbei and Blackbeard. I think he would definitely be like a very viable unit because pretty much 90% of the game is Devil Fruit users, and if you can ignore defense on some of the tanky characters, it's pretty much GG.
Yeah, it's for sure, man. So that's that for Wiper, guys. Again, we're done with the list. If there are other characters you guys want to see, let us know in the comments, of course. But yeah, guys, with that being said, hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check him out. Make sure to check out the chef, and let's get him to 100 subs. If not more, that'd be fantastic, guys. But make sure to check him out for sure. At least check out his videos. Even if you don't want to sub, at least give them a watch. Give him a chance. Definitely deserving of it. So yeah, Chef, any closing thoughts?
No, man, I appreciate all the love and I appreciate the support. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, check out the videos. If not, then that's fine too.
Yeah, but make sure you do. That's not fine. Make sure you do check him out, guys. 100% worth it. Great thumbnails, great production value, and also very good commentary, right? A very entertaining personality for sure. So, yeah, guys, that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.
Peace.